Okay, Leah. Could you introduce us, please? Introduce me to you.
I'm Leah Joy Bee.
Okay.
Live in Rochester.
Rochester, Minnesota. And you've been here for how long?
I've been here since 98, but this studio has been here since 2013.
Okay. Where are you originally from Rochester?
I was born in North Carolina, and so I grew up there, and then
Really?
we moved up to Rochester in elementary school.
Okay.
My dad moved here
Okay.
for IBM, so
Okay.
we moved the whole family here.
So we're sitting in your business. It's called Canvas Chardonnay. Could you tell me a little bit about it and what
Yeah.
it has to offer?
Yeah, so we started in 2013 as just like a paint and sip. So you come in, you learn how to paint something from an instructor. Most classes take like 2 to 2.5 hours.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be fun. Like nobody's judging anybody.
You see, I haven't tried it yet,
artwork.
so like I see all these paintings, I see everybody posting on the net. I'm like, I got to do that one time, at least one time.
Oh, you should, definitely.
I've been here since 95, and I haven't came here. Like I came to one of your parties, one of your shows. You let the I think it was New Funk perform in the backyard here.
Yep.
And I came to that, and I believe they had like some type of after party or something, but I didn't stay for it.
Yep.
You know, typically, if a person wanted to get involved with the Canvas and Chardonnay, I know with this COVID-19 going on, it's kind of a little hard to get here. But how much does it cost usually to come in and do some painting with the instructors?
Average cost for painting is about $25 to $45,
Oh, wow,
just
that's
depending on which project you pick. We do have like kids options as well, but older kids are welcome to come to adult classes. Sometimes people think because we serve alcohol that teenagers can't come, but they can, and they have a fun time too.
Okay. So you guys, of course, because of the name, you know, Chardonnay, you guys serve wine and alcohol and beer and stuff like that. As far as like art goes, what do you guys offer? Is there like any pottery classes or anything like that? Or
we don't have pottery classes. We've done painting, we've done calligraphy, we've done like jewelry making,
wow.
yoga workshops.
Okay.
We've had some macrame classes and some, like, I don't even know if I have any around here right now. There's a few in the back of the studio, some like weaves. So we've done, and also plant classes too. So from 2013, starting as just painting, when myself and my partner and my mother took over the business a few years ago, we decided we wanted to kind of incorporate all types of art. We've had photo pop-ups, like a photo studio pop-up here a few times.
Was this
Dance parties, music.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Like everything we could possibly
You know
get
what
in
I
here.
always wanted to ask? Was this the old Broadway records?
Yes.
I knew it. I was like,
Yep.
this thing right there is a clean
and
giveaway.
there's still a few stickers from
wow.
when Broadway Records
I believe
was here.
like 1, 2, 3. I believe my album was maybe like 3 shelves into the
'cause they
store.
had all the, yep, this is exactly.
Okay, this
yep.
is it.
Yes,
all right.
it is.
So you guys turned it into Canvas and Chardonnay, which is
Yes.
brilliant. I have to say, I've been wanting to tell you that for the longest. I mean, like the night I came for the
Cove.
for the concert or whatever, the Cove.
Yep.
I wanted to tell you that it's like I hear so much positivity about what you brought to the community, and with the Canvas and Chardonnay and the painting thing, it's like brilliant idea, great. I love it. Like,
It's a great start, but it really takes a lot of other people coming in with their ideas too. So I'm happy that we have the space to do that, but it's really about community and connecting with other people.
That's
and
true.
Getting,
That's true.
different artists that maybe don't have their own studio space that can come in and
That's
show
true.
their art. We have shelves here where people can sell their art, but also to teach their art too if you want to. So it's been fun. I've met so many people just in the last few years of running this business than I have in my whole like living here. So.
It is most definitely a breath of fresh air, you know, bringing this to Rochester. I mean, like, honestly, there's nothing like it here. And stay, please.
Yeah,
you know, don't go anywhere.
No, we're not going anywhere. We're here until this building's not here, and then we'll move on to another building.
So you're an inspiring artist yourself, right? You do a lot of the painting, and you know, and you've been painting since you probably yay high, like, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So I teach a lot of the paintings here. We have a lot of great other artists that teach some of the paintings here too. I do a lot of like more like organic shapes for my own art that are up here, and we have a mural in the back of the studio as well.
I'd like to see that too one time.
Yeah, we can go look at that when we're done.
Cool.
And I really like painting large scale personally as an artist. It's just fun, and it changes as you go too. So it's not just painting on this small canvas. But I kind of dabble in a little bit of everything. I went to school for gemology, so I learned about you know, gemstones and gold and
explain it to me. I'm a bit of a dummy. I know about electronics and studio equipment and stuff like that, but I don't know nothing about gemology. Talk to me.
Yeah, gemology, it was great to study. I worked for a local jewelry store for a while, Rochester Lapidary Jewelers.
Oh, really? Okay.
For Diamond Dawn.
So like, what you studied is like, it shows you like how to like make jewelry like this, or
so I didn't study the design process, but you can study the design process. I basically studied the properties of like what makes up, or how is a diamond created, how are gemstones created, where do they come from, how can you market them, how can you sell them, what
how large can a diamond
are in.
actually get?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Oh man, you're supposed to know that.
No, I know. I should know this. But I started to incorporate that in this business too, selling crystals, rocks, basically anything you can possibly get. There's not a lot of metaphysical stores anywhere near Rochester.
You do sell some of your.
Yeah, so we sell.
Stuff.
We have quartz, we have jasper, we have selenite, amethyst, rose quartz, tourmaline. So there's a lot of different things here to go through. Some malachite, some chrysocolla. We go down to the Tucson Gem Show every year, and it's wild.
Where is that? Is that in north of Minnesota?
It's in Arizona, in Tucson.
Really? Okay.
So people come from all over the world to sell their stones, their rocks, their crystals, and you have to figure out which vendors are ethically sourced. But it's a lot of fun, and it's been another way to connect with other artists that make jewelry from it too.
Yeah.
So we've sold some local artist jewelry here too with crystals.
I see you blending a little bit of the music with the painting art that you got going on here.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a brilliant idea, but you haven't invited me yet.
You're always
that's
invited,
that's my problem.
We're
If
not
I
open.
closed mouths don't get fed anyway. And at the same time too, I'm sure if this was open and I asked, you probably would let me come to a show, but that's neither here nor there because I'm not worried about that.
We can have shows soon.
I'm currently trying to get
anything.
enough music to where I can just like rock out all night, just let y'all have it and y'all vibe with me just all night.
Yeah, definitely.
For however long I hold the show, I was gonna give a show down the street here at the Castle, but I ended up canceling.
The Castle's a great organization too.
Man, their stage is brilliant. I love that place.
Yeah.
But the only reason I didn't hold it because of the COVID-19 situation, and I didn't feel like really wanted to be to blame getting everybody sick, because that tight knit, close circle, whole bunch of people gathering in one small place is like, okay, nah, I don't want to do that just
all
now.
All arts and entertainment right now.
Yeah.
We're all just completely out.
Let's say the truth. We're fucked right now.
Yeah,
we're out.
We are, and it's funny how arts and entertainment end up being like one of the most healing things, I think, in a business or a setting, or somewhere you're going. It's really about mental health, and it's funny, we're now in a pandemic, and it's one of the only things that hasn't opened back up is arts and entertainment. And what are we doing for mental health?
Exactly, right.
Like, I teach on a video, and people can follow me step by step and order that online, but it's not the same. I don't get to, interact with people anymore, and it's sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
I miss it.
I do a lot of work face to face and with contact with people, especially when it comes to doing music. Like you said, you gotta have that face to face contact. And that's where the magic happens. Like, you can tell me all your ideas, but it's nothing like hearing you actually say what you got to say about your lyrics or where you're going with your ideas, so I can play the keyboard out for you. It's always a process, but there's always Zoom, right? I don't want to use.
There's nothing like a live.
It's like one person, you can't even like
video.
make noise in the background, and that one video
It's gonna
pop up.
Yep. I know, it's super awkward. I'll be honest, I am not a video chat person. I have not done any video chats. I've done one meeting over video.
I try to keep it to FaceTime, but don't nobody listen. It's like Facebook. That's where everybody contact everybody at Facebook. You got the number and still won't call me.
I know, same. It is Facebook Messenger.
That's
Sometimes
tiring. I get tired of
Instagram
it.
Messenger is kind of a go-to for communication too, but I don't know. We're relearning this weird way of life now.
Isn't it weird though how everything is how we're relearning everything in ourselves even? I mean, like,
we have to unlearn a lot
we
of things
we
too.
can honestly question ourselves about a lot of things. Like, I mean, what brings me to that subject of wanting to question self and get to know yourself better, it's just the times we're living in. You think we'd be so much further than we are, and the times have shown. I mean, like, with the media, I mean, everything's so much easier to access. I mean, Facebook, social media, you're seeing it firsthand now. So it's almost like, dang, am I racist? The racist thing. I mean, I question that because I too even, I want to scream, Black Lives Matter, and I tend to tangibly think about the things that I've been through. And what I mean by questioning myself even, and asking myself, am I racist? Because there are certain views that I feel, should be separated from certain friends I have, or I might view certain friends I have in a certain light if they say certain things. So even I have to question myself, like, you're relearning yourself. You used to think you were for everybody, but then it's like, oh wow, with certain situations happening and make you question yourself, like, oh, okay, I didn't know this about myself. And that's what I mean by,
I think it's important that we all do that, though. I mean, because we all have implicit biases.
But yeah, it's a part of growth, right?
Racism that we've learned from others, whether it be our teachers, our school books, sometimes in some situations, parents. We all have a lot of unlearning to do and healing in ourselves to do, because it's not just you. It's also yourself.
It starts with home. Home is inside. I said one thing, I believe, on one of my songs. I believe it is "Keep Getting Better." I gave you the album. And I quote myself.
That's in the back of the studio.
That's
great.
I didn't think you was gonna catch that.
That's awesome.
That's Topo.
Topo and the chemist is in the back. That's great. I love it.
Thank you. So I say in there, I say something about teaching hate, and I say even though in home we serve it by the plate, and then I ask the listener to let it marinate. You know, what I mean by that is, like you said, it starts at home, and a lot of things that we tend to experience we're taught, are things we inflict on people, are, you know, just our character usually comes from who raised us, you know, and sometimes, you know, we don't even know that we're inflicting hurtful situations, or, you know, let's say hate in a child's mind, you know, and are just about the family, period, you know, and it starts at home, and we don't even see it. It's like the discrimination against certain things when you can't go and do certain things. You'll be taught that that's just something we don't do, you know. Like
with
parents
no
will try to mask
explanation.
things, you know, no explanations, but it's beaten to you, but it was the way of the family for so long, it doesn't seem like it's hateful, but it's what grown you. So throughout the years, as you get older, you know, you're just this, you know, this person that spews hate and don't even know it.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, like that.
Especially coming from somebody, you know, if it's coming from your parents, you love them, and you know that they love you, so you don't see them in that
how does it see
hateful
wrong? Yeah.
way. Yep, definitely.
Now, I know you've been watching the media, and regardless of skin tone, race, or whatever, I'm still going to ask the question. What do you feel about the Black Lives Matter movement, and with that stimulating from the recent police brutality case with George Floyd?
I mean, I obviously support the Black Lives Matter movement. I do, you know, at first I went on the defense with a lot of people that don't understand the Black Lives Matter movement, and I wish that I wouldn't have, because there was opportunity for me in these spaces that I exclusively have with these, you know, family members or, you know, old friends. I have that space with them that I can use my voice with them to, you know, try and figure out where they're coming from, how we can change that together. And so I do regret reacting in a way when
I mean, well,
particularly this death, George
I mean,
Floyd.
but-
I mean, it happened when Philando Castile died too.
I know.
Was murdered.
It was murder.
I lost a lot of friends. They weren't obviously
From
friends.
checking the ignorance and the things people have to say and spew.
So I think, but I do think, especially for me as a white woman, that there is this middle ground that I do need to keep those connections in a way so that I at least can have them hear me out or hear the movement out, because they're not going to have access to that in any other way. They're only going to see it in the way that their media of choice portrays it, or their friends of choice portray it. So I'm working right now on being a little bit more patient with these people, because sometimes it's like what you were saying, it's not necessarily something that they've ever seen as hateful, even though it is. So how do we position ourselves to speak with them about that, and out of love too?
True,
like, hey, I
true.
love you, and I have respected you. I want to continue to respect you as my aunt, which is definitely something that's going on right now. And my cousin, who's a police officer,
So you've had
I want to respect you, but you have to show me.
I have a cousin that's on the police force myself.
Yeah, and that was
he gets
she
it
was
from
my
me.
closest cousin for basically my whole life. And right now it's like, I don't see you. Like I don't see you. You're not the person I thought you were. So it's hard, and we're all having hard discussions
And
with
I
people that
understand
we
where
love.
he's coming from, because it's not him, you know. It's not him pulling the trigger. It's not him putting his knee on somebody's neck. But
where are the cops arresting the bad cops? Because if
Hello.
not all cops
Hello.
are bastards, then where the fuck are you?
Exactly.
When
Exactly.
Brother in Blue's going crazy.
Exactly.
Like, where are you?
Where are
Because
you?
you're not. If you're not there, you are. You all cops.
Yeah.
You do get lumped in that. You don't get to say, but I'm not. I'm not. Because
especially when it's
what are you doing?
when what's that word they call it? Immunity. especially when you get immunity perks as a police officer. You know you want those perks to continue. Why aren't you checking the officers that abuse those perks?
Abusing them,
you know?
Exactly. Growing up, I learned about cops, obviously. What my thought of what cops were is that they were going to lay down their life to protect their community. And that's not happening. Oh, sometimes they get shot, they get, in bad situation. What happened to my child ideal view of what a cop was? They were swearing this oath to protect. And like, even if that meant losing their life, when did it turn into, well, if I feel threatened, I can take someone else's life instead? No, you chose to put that badge on this morning. Like, that's my, my child understanding of what a cop was supposed to be. And I don't feel that way.
I mean, from a community perspective, do you feel it'll ever get better? I mean, there's not much going on here in Rochester. We don't deal with it as often. I
think we do, though. It might not be
as far as open police brutality and at an all-time high, as far as 4 or 5 times a week,
Sure,
we're nowhere close to it.
It's
so
just
it's
quiet,
all exactly.
It's
so
quiet,
it's easier
and
to sleep under
business, it's in money, it's in who all of these people decide who are getting grants, who are able to be a part of the community, nonprofits getting funding. Like, it's in very quiet ways. It might not look like police brutality, but it is. Yes.
So basically,
very alive and well.
Aside from the police brutality, there is discrimination. A lot of that. I mean, Rochester has most definitely come a long way if you're speaking from my perspective or my view on Rochester. I mean, I don't have a criminal background or a criminal record. I don't have a felony, so my answer to that question would be totally different than a guy that has a felony or has been in and out the system throughout his life. I mean, I've been fairly blessed to be raised by people that have been through certain simulations like that in their life, but won't mind putting me in my place or whooping my ass if I got out of line when I was younger. So it kind of sent me on a path that I could walk with my head up and not feel ashamed of myself.
Definitely.
So that, I believe, upbringing has a lot to do with the whole situation, period. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, coming from a situation, I mean, like, have-nots and haves, and people that have, I mean, for certain people, something like this would be unattainable. Like, I mean, and you come and think of it like, why would you think that way, And you have to come to grasp reality that just certain things weren't available for people to learn about or know about, or just wasn't taught to them. Coming from Louisiana, I mean, to actually gain information on the...
Is that where you were from?
Well, originally I'm from Palm Springs, California, but I was raised in Louisiana and moved here when I was 15.
Okay.
How would I put that? When not having the knowledge to learn how to do the things that, that was later on taught to me in life, I mean, kind of leaves room for poverty a little bit, what I mean, if you kind of understand where I'm going with what we're talking about, And I feel like in order to have, for me to have had opportunity, I needed to leave Louisiana. And I mean, maybe this day and age now, that would be bullshit, but I felt like that would I needed to do that in order to succeed in life, you know, because of the systemic racism and the old traits that old people have, and their ways, even, and how they raise the community, you know. So it kind of drove me away at a point, and I didn't stay and end up teaching my fellow siblings or people I grew up with things that I know. You know, you understand what I mean? I guess with that being said, do you see Rochester being more diverse in an equality way in the near future?
I hope so. I'm raising my child with those hopes that he, maybe by the time he's my age, that this city and hopefully all cities can be that way. But I don't know. For who's in power right now, I mean, if we keep pushing,
I believe
and keep holding people accountable and making people uncomfortable, sure. I hope so. That's the goal.
I believe it was Dick Gregory who said, hold the police accountable for what they're doing and give them something that they can't afford to lose, and you will see a change. You know, he went on to say in his interview with this guy he was like, let's say a police officer child gets to go to school and eat free, and you lean on his back and you take that away from him. Now he has a reason to care about people and care about everybody besides his family, because something can be taken away from him. Do you think that would be effective as far as police reform goes?
I don't know that I really believe that police can be reformed.
That's deep. Okay.
I don't.
Why do you say that?
Because it is a systemic issue, and there's no way to eradicate that behavior without completely tearing it apart.
That's true.
So, you know, a lot of like liberal folks and, you know, people who completely, you know, want to say funded our public school systems, and we've completely defunded.
Exactly where I was going. Keep talking.
Yeah, no, we've completely defunded things that, you know, that help homeless people, that help house people, that help, you know, children learn. What it really comes down to is everybody needs food, a house, and health care.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have the crime rates that we do if we all had these three things. We don't need cops. Cops are here because we don't have these three things as a collective, a country. We don't have those three things. If not everybody has those three things, then none of us should.
So when you say, because I already know from watching this video and people hearing it and hearing you say we don't need cops, I know from common sense theory that you don't mean like get rid of cops and we don't need them.
No,
but
they can serve a purpose. But, you know, I guess in Rochester specifically and surrounding areas, the biggest call-in is domestic. Well, do you really need a cop to come in and to a domestic dispute, or do you need someone who can counsel you? They're not trained to counsel, whether it be, you know, a non-binary, a female, a male, whoever who's having this argument. Who's coming to talk with these people? The cops, they're intimidating. Do I think that they serve a purpose somewhere? Yeah, of course they do. Pulling people over for speeding, like, is that an accurate way to spend our tax dollars?
Meeting that quota, huh? that famous thing they call meeting the quota. Yeah,
no, exactly. So it's just, I don't think that cops shouldn't exist. I think that there is a space for them, but the system that we have set up for them right now is not working. It obviously hasn't been working.
Well, I do know Rochester, and along with a few other counties and a lot of other states, They were like, we're not defunding the police, and I feel that it's bullshit because that money can go towards community active funding and programs.
Exactly.
I have tons of kids that I can contact myself, my kids even.
There's tons of
and get them
nonprofit
involved in
organizations
something
in town
to
right
do.
now that are actually using their own money to help teenagers,
And that is
kids,
crazy.
because they love them.
That each city should be reaching out to those people and putting them on the payroll some way.
Yeah, I
another.
agree.
Calling for a defunding, or let's call for a rerouting of the funding.
Yeah, abolition and defunding doesn't mean completely get rid of them.
You already know what is going to be said.
It doesn't. No, it's the language. We're taught to get defensive on words used like that. But if we educate ourselves on those words, we're okay with checking the no box on defunding, on funding public school systems.
And it means what it means then, right?
Yeah.
It says defund.
Defund Planned Parenthood. Defund,
that's
health
another
services,
thing.
defund all of the things that are helping people stay out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where you are with that one thing. You brought the Planned Parenthood thing up, but I don't know, maybe I'm biased for saying this are incorrect politically, but I feel no one should have the right to tell a woman what she should do with her body. It should be her total right to, if she wanted to abort, or if she wanted to keep the child.
Yep, definitely.
I thought I was wrong for saying that. Somebody said something to me about that. I guess it was probably like the way I said it. I was like, well, what can be wrong about it? I'm like, it's totally not to, that I don't want any blame or any involvement in it, but
abortion is
it's
healthcare.
not my body, and therefore you should be able to make a decision with or without me. But I still should have a decision as a father, but we still have to think first of what the woman wants, I feel.
Yeah, or person with uterus. So, a lot of the time we say women and men, but, I have a lot of friends that don't go by men or women, and they have uteruses, and their right to healthcare is important too, and an abortion is healthcare. So I definitely agree with that. That is something that, the person with the uterus and the doctor get to decide together.
Okay. Sorry about getting too personal.
No,
I know those views right there.
I told you, I'm open.
Do you see yourself pulling Canvas and Chardonnay out in the public's eye, like in like a field setting somewhere down like Silver Lake, anywhere, or would you ever
like
do
an
that?
outdoor?
Have you guys done that yet?
I've done a few pop-ups in outdoor spaces. I have thought about that, especially post-COVID, just because our studio is great when there's not a pandemic.
Good sunlight, going on.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to. I've talked with the RDA, the Downtown Alliance, Rochester. Talk to them about maybe having them help with funding on that, which would be cool to have it be a free. I'd like to have some free classes out in a park or something. That's something I'm very
don't forget the pavilions too, though. The pavilions down there, you can rent those out.
Definitely.
Too. Yeah.
So that's definitely in my mind for August. I'm just seeing how the mask mandate got implemented, I think Wednesday this week.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting to see, what happens with that. And then I did kind of do a mock setup in here to see what it would be like to have a social distance party. We do have a nonprofit coming in next Wednesday. Have you heard of the Journey program?
No.
It's a great organization ran by a woman named Nishana, and she has, I think, right now 12 teenage girls that she's walking through this 8-step program.
Okay.
So they're going to do their first step here, getting to know yourself through creative expression on a canvas. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we haven't had any classes since March, which is painful.
That is painful.
It is painful.
Because I don't know what, because I'm
7
looking
years of doing
up.
this work and completely,
I've been hard-headed, like
4 months
crazy. I've been hard-headed. It's like, but I've been good. I've been hard-headed, but I've been good.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to the point, it's like you catch that break and it's like everybody, okay, we're getting back to work. I give a client a phone call, like, ready to record?
Yeah.
I can come over if you need me.
Yeah.
But I bring my mask with me and my sanitizer, and I try to, not, I guess, talk too much or whatnot.
Yeah, just keeping
and just
a safe
keep my distance,
Definitely.
and try to get my work on there. But you got this lovely studio here. Can I have a tour of it?
Yeah,
please?
for sure.
Show me
So
around.
one of our friends actually installed the shelves here where the records used to be for Broadway Records.
Okay.
But so our friends put this in. We sell a bunch of crystals here. We do sell plants sometimes as well. We used to have a couple shelves of vintage books. But for whatever reason, people didn't want to buy books when they were here, so we took them off and we have some amethyst, some fluorite, some chrysocolla, malachite, jasper, Shiva, citrine, tourmaline. Yeah, so we use this space for the emporium, we call it. This is the couch where people can relax. Like, even if you're not here for a class, you can come in and hang out post-COVID.
Okay. You said post-COVID, so people can actually come in and chill and don't have to?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow,
We'll
that's
do it all
cool.
the time. So normally all of the tables run vertical in the room. Right now, we're set up for to-go classes at home. So we just have all of our paint out. We have little cups that we fill up. We have all of our canvas sizes wrapped up over here.
Oh,
ready
wow.
to go.
Okay.
So this is like the supply table right now.
Mm-hmm.
But normally we have like easel set up, or if there is a music show, we move all of the tables to the back and have this whole space here kind of open for a crowd. When I teach or one of our other artists teaches, we stand up here. We usually have an easel up here that we instruct on.
Okay.
We have music playing in between each step so people can, sing along or dance or get wild. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does.
Just waiting for it to happen though, right?
We have like a couple sinks back here for people to, if they need to clean out their water jars during class. There's 2 bathrooms back here. Normally these boxes are not here either, but they're just easier to have that way right now while we have the to-go classes. So, and then every month or so, I change out all of the paintings that are on the shelves here.
Okay, I was gonna ask that question too. It's like, are these brand new paintings?
Yeah, so they were just kind of specific to like March, April time. I was kind of prepping for what was going to be on the calendar.
Wow.
And then,
I see you got my favorite over there, the Van Gogh.
Oh yeah, yep. That one's been a popular one. That one's fun because you can do one person on one side and one person on the other side, and you can do like a couples painting or a partner painting. So yeah, we have hundreds of canvases downstairs that are more like specific to whatever weather, winter.
I didn't even think this place had.
Oh yeah, I mean right now
it.
we had a bunch of donations. We have Hope Fuse and Jeremiah program coming to pick up all of this stuff, but right underneath here we have the creepiest basement in Rochester.
Oh wow, really? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
We have just a back room where we keep all of our stuff. We're artists, so we're not super organized. And then back here we have the Cove. This is one of my murals. I'm actually repainting this one tonight. Something new. I'm gonna put up something thought-provoking.
did you paint that wall there?
So I partnered with Will Forsman's sister next door. She did the hands and the coffin leaf, and then I created the shapes and the colors, and then they just printed it off on vinyl and then had it put up. So there was a grant for it.
Oh.
So yeah,
Wow.
so just made this space. They also Red Nose Lighting put up all this lighting so that it's nice and bright back here at night. So there's not a lot of weird things
At
happening
night,
back
I get
here.
this total like tiki
It's so
beach
magic.
feeling.
It's
Like
so magic back here at night. Yeah. So yeah, and there's parking for the people that live upstairs and for us. People, this is ours. Somebody left it here. We also have like a beautiful dumping ground. People leave random things back here. So this is something someone left. So we spray painted it and people move it around. Who knows if they're playing basketball or if they're using it as like a little photo crop up. Put your phone here and take a picture over here. I watch people on the camera sometimes do that, so it's fun. It's interesting. But yeah, so this is our space, and
Man.
we share a building with Cafe Steve, and they're great neighbors, so I really enjoy it.
This is great. Honestly, I like this.
Yeah, so like I said, it's usually a little bit cleaner, but it's still like home.
That's that nice homely feeling to it too.
Yeah. And when people can drink in our space again, we usually have like different types of beers in here. White Claw, because that's all the rage. Wine, water, soda. People can bring in non-alcoholic beverages too. So you definitely do not have to drink.
Okay.
There's more donations there.
Right. Ooh.
Just a mess. A happy mess.
Well, I don't want to hold you too long. I do know that you probably need to get some things done, and
I'm just painting that back wall today, so I'm excited to work on that.
all right. Possibly
Sticker spray.
wrap everything up now. Anything you want to ask me? Anything like that?
You said you moved here when you were 15 from Louisiana. Did you move with family or did you move
Family.
family?
Badass.
Yeah.
I was fighting too much, and my mom couldn't
In
handle
school?
it. So she was like, yeah, and in the streets.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm sending you to live with your sister. She had
So
graduated.
your sister already lived here.
She had graduated from Grambling State University down in Ruston, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And she was co-oping for IBM as a program, I believe.
Cool.
And I guess she had her last straw with me with this one fight I had. And she was like, you gotta go.
Your mom's like, you gotta leave.
Yeah. So she sent
So
me
your
up here.
sister let you come live
Yeah.
with her. That's
Best
great.
thing I had, she.
Did you go to school
that
when you
did
came up
something to me that should have happened, I believe. Like, I went back in 2016. I went back in 96, came back in 97. So it was 95, skipped 96, 97. And I was here, I've been here since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you like Rochester?
Yeah, love it.
Did you go to school here then too?
Mayo and John Adams.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I went to John Marshall.
Really?
I graduated from John
Okay.
Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking about homeschooling my son right now.
Why do you think so?
Just everything I've had to relearn and unlearn from public school system. It's kind of a hard decision.
I mean, maybe
because
you
I
could get
want
to the
him
nitty
have
gritty
Yeah,
too. You know,
I
teach
know,
him what
but
he
it's like-
needs to know.
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal. But I don't know. Like, he came home from kindergarten this past November, and he had a coloring sheet, and it said something about a little Indian girl, and she was smiling with like feathers behind her hair. And I'm just like, what are you learning in your school, you know, because now you're coming home and you're telling me what you think Thanksgiving is based on what the public school taught you. And then you come home and then I have to, you know, which is fine. That's my job as a parent. But it's that unlearning and relearning. And I don't know if I want to continue, like, sacrificing my child to the system.
That's true. That's one way to look at it.
I've talked to a few people that are also interested in homeschooling and maybe using this space as, like, a community homeschool space during the day. I don't know. It's obviously in beginning stages, but
I think you'd win with that if you actually did it. He seemed, I mean, from pictures, I've only seen pictures, but he seems like a very bright young man.
He is.
And he's
very conscious.
Inquisitive too. He looks like he asks a lot of questions.
He does ask a lot of questions. And he's just there. Like, he's very conscious, like more conscious than a lot of adults that I know. And I don't want him to lose that in this, you know, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. grind every day. I don't live that life. Like, I don't have a schedule. When I do have a schedule, I make my schedule, which I'm privileged to do that because I have this space. But I think, I don't know, whenever I worked a 9 to 5 working for the man, like, I was physically ill. And I don't know, I have the opportunity to homeschool, and I want other kids to be able to too, and have guest teachers. And
when was the last time you had a job?
The last time I had a job, well, March of this year, I had
not
a
the
job.
Businesswoman. I mean, like you said.
No, I worked for this
the
company.
man. When was the last time you worked for
this